you, yeah. Wake up. I said wake up! Get your ass up!
What can I get you?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Let me get a...
Bitcoin dropped over 28%, all the way down to $30,291 from its all-time high of $42,000 it saw on January 8th. But it did leave a CME gap above price action right at $40,300. The number 2 cryptocurrency by market cap, Ethereum, also took a bit of a tumble over the weekend, dropping over 32% to $911 since hitting its all-time high of $1,354.12 back on the 10th of January. Now, we are getting pretty strong bounces right now out of both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there are quite a few signs that we may have seen the bottom of this shakeout. In fact, this could be the best opportunity to get back in the market that we may see for a very long time, as there are some really promising signs letting us know that we may have seen a bottom. While there are some significant signs pointing towards this correction being over, we cannot ignore the fact that the DXY continues to gain momentum, hinting towards the very real possibility that this correction is not done yet. Either way, this corrective price action presents an incredible opportunity to get back into the market at premium prices, and you do not want to let this opportunity slip by. So make sure you stick around until the end of the episode to find out just how low Bitcoin and Ethereum may or may not go in the next 24 hours.
And then they did dumps. They call them dumps, big, massive dumps.
Self-destruct sequence activated. 3, 2, 1.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Ask him about the car, man.
Is this yours, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
Is that your car out front?
Is this your homework, Larry?
We know it's his fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, you little brat?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Johnny here. Let's get right into today's episode. But before we do, if you could please like and subscribe, it definitely helps out the channel. And don't forget to ding that bell to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest and get notifications when I put out emergency videos. All right, so we had an all-time high at $42,000 all the way back on January 8th. It feels like forever ago, but it was just a few days. And then after that all-time high, you know, bulls started to lose a little bit of strength. And then just as the CME Sunday session opened, we saw a massive move to the downside out of Bitcoin. But it does appear we are getting a bounce off this lower trend line of this rising broadening wedge. Kind of putting Bitcoin in a pretty ambiguous spot at the moment. So as you can see here, this is the 2-hour chart. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the 8-hour. This is the 1272 Fibonacci level right here. And we did get a nice bounce off of there. And what could be happening right now is a very real possibility of a head and shoulders pattern. But what also is a very real possibility is this ascending broadening wedge, being that Livermore speculation funnel that I did discuss a few episodes ago. So here is a quick picture of that idea. You can see here we get this rising broadening wedge in a funnel that takes off to the upside and just hitting incredible all-time highs. And this is the daily chart we're looking at right now. But if we take a look at the 8-hour chart here, you can see we're still well within this rising broadening wedge. We did get this nice bounce here right off the 1272 Fibonacci level, and we are looking for more movement to the upside. Now, Bitcoin is in a bit of an ambiguous position right here where this could be a head and shoulders pattern playing out, which is a very bearish pattern. So let's go ahead and see what we can get here for a measured move. If this pattern does break to the downside, that would give us movement, a 26% move all the way down to the neckline, and that could take us all the way down here to $20,000 area. So, I mean, it could be a little less, it could be a little more. These measured moves aren't exactly specific, but we are looking at a very real possibility of Bitcoin moving further to the downside. Let's go ahead and take a fib extension and see if that would indeed give us a movement to the downside. Usually, you know, you'll get a one-to-one extension from these patterns playing out, and that would only put us down here at $25,419. A move all the way down here to 20K would put us at the 161 in between the 1618 and the 1.764 Fibonacci extension, which would be a pretty bearish move. Now, we do have to take a look at the DXY. So the DXY did start to get a pump heading into the weekend, which was clue number one that we were likely in store for a correction. As you can see here, the price has just been moving up pretty consistently since Friday. You know, the dollar doesn't trade over the weekend, so you don't get data on your chart for the weekend. But when we did open on Monday or Sunday, excuse me, you did see the price or the index price of the dollar moving quickly to the upside. Now, we did break, this is the 8-hour chart, we did break the 55 8-hour exponential moving average, and it does appear that the DXY is headed towards the 200 8-hour exponential moving average, which puts the DXY right at 91.49% on the index. All right, so let's take a bit of a deeper look at this chart. If you've been following my videos and keeping up with the channel, you know that we have been looking for this mega bullish move out of the DXY, which in fact would just be a bearish confirmation of this very large diamond top structure that it does appear the DXY broke bearish out of. So diamond tops are not usually, but always two pattern structure patterns. Diamond tops are always two structure patterns. So your first structure will be a broadening wedge of some type, followed by a triangle, typically a rising triangle or ascending triangle, but it can be a descending triangle as well when you get into more complex patterns. But this is what we're looking at here. So if we take the measured move of this diamond top, this would give us a move pretty far to the downside on the index for the dollar. So if we take our measured move from the point of breakout, let's be a little bit more conservative there. That would take us all the way down to 80% on the index, effectively giving Bitcoin and gold and stocks a very hefty price bump to the upside. Now, what we're looking for here is the possibility of a bearish confirmation. So if we draw our diamond top structure like this, this could have already seen a bearish confirmation once it broke to the downside, but this is not a very convincing triangle pattern that you would like to see as your second part structure in this diamond top. So, you know, up here would be much better, because we did, you know, it does seem to play some significance here. As you can see, the DXY got a bounce before continuing its movement to the downside. So what we're looking at right now is the possibility of a movement to the upside, giving us that bearish confirmation that we would like to see out of the DXY, which will likely coincide with another market crash, as much as I really hate to say it, but it is a very real possibility. Let's go ahead and take our measured move of a breakout of this falling wedge, which is a very bullish reversal pattern. So go from the bottom of the price action inside of the pattern to the top. That will give us about a 15% move on the index, effectively giving us a new high, putting the dollar back up near 100%. Now, I don't really see it going up over 100%, and you know, we would like to see the bearish confirmation at the very most here, putting the DXY up to about 98% on the index, which which would likely be followed by a pretty severe crash right after. But, the DXY has been breaking these bullish reversal patterns to the downside for quite some time now, effectively taking us down to where it is right now. It's sitting at just over 90% on the index. And if you remember from, it's been a few episodes, but I did discuss it pretty in detail, the inverse correlation that does exist with Bitcoin and the DXY. So long story short, every 1% move to the downside we see out of the DXY, we see about a 10 to 15% move to the upside out of Bitcoin, and for every 1% move to the upside out of the DXY, we see about a 10 to 15, sometimes 20% move to the downside out of Bitcoin. So this is what we're looking at here. Again, this rise or falling wedge giving us the possibility of a bullish breakout to the upside, maybe coming up and hitting this 200 daily exponential moving average. Now, it did break the 21 daily exponential moving average, and it is going up to test this 55. Whether or not the DXY is able to break that will give us some pretty solid insight into where the Bitcoin price is headed to in the medium term. So let's go ahead and go back to the Bitcoin chart. All right, so a couple of episodes ago, I did discuss the possibility of us being in what's called a Livermore's speculation funnel. Basically, when an asset is in really high demand and there's a lot of speculation going on, you get this really strong coiling up in a rising, broadening wedge, followed by a move across the top trend line of the wedge, giving you the breakout, which is then followed by a very strong move to 0.9, 0.10, and then you've reached the top of the parabola at 0.11. You get the bounce, and then you sell the bounce and ride the wave all the way down. Now, I did also discuss the possibility of us really being at 0.6, so I could have been off by one count, and that's exactly what has happened. We are headed further to the downside, and as you can see, here is that broadening wedge, and we have not came all the way down, but we did. So we did get this wick that came all the way down to the 1272 Fibonacci level, which in fact could be 0.7 in that Livermore's speculation funnel, giving us a 0.8 on the other side, or the breakout of this rising broadening wedge. If it were to do that in this candle, that would be a $46,000 100 Bitcoin. So, right now it is in a bit of a precarious position. We've been seeing some pretty strong movement to the downside, but it does look like we are in fact getting the bounce that we need, which would put this at 0.7 and then again a 0.8 all the way up here over $46,000 if the speculation funnel idea does play out. So one thing that we definitely have to pay attention to, so we just discussed the possibility of the DXY moving to the upside, and we have to take that into consideration when we are doing technical analysis for Bitcoin. So there is a very real possibility that this is a bearish pattern forming, letting us know that we could be headed further to the downside. If this right shoulder structure does play out, then we could be looking at a $20,000 Bitcoin in the very short term, giving us a pretty strong correction in what will no doubt shake out all of the weak hands once again as they hand over their Bitcoin to the institutions that are hoarding it right now. So we do need to be careful here. So this is how I intend to trade this price action right now. So I did enter in down here right off the bounce of this 1272 right at 30,751. If you're in the trading group, you did get these updates, and I send my trading strategy and plans in the trading group in real time as I actually enter into trades. So if you're interested in joining the group, there is information in the description below. All right, so this is what we're looking at here. In the idea, this continues to the upside. We are in a position right here. We are looking for a move to the top side of this trend line. But if this right shoulder structure price continues moving in this direction, we'll get a bit of sideways before we come down, giving us a completed right shoulder, which would let us know that we are in a bearish price structure and we could be moving further to the downside, possibly all the way down to $20,173. Now, one thing we can look at, so let's go ahead and take a look at the daily chart once again. Let's look and see where our exponential moving averages are. So our 55 daily is all the way down here at 25,662, and our 200 daily is all the way down at $17,000. Now, I do not see price action heading down to the 200 daily EMA, but it's a very real possibility that we do get a move down here to the 55 daily EMA, which is right at 25,000. $800, $900. If we take a look at the weekly chart, so peeking at the weekly chart, we always want to keep in mind where our 21 weekly exponential moving average is. And right now it's sitting right around the $20,000 level. So a few episodes ago, we did discuss the idea or the possible idea of Bitcoin continuing to head to the upside until it drugged this moving average up above 20K, at which point, we were looking for a correction down to bounce off of it before continuing this incredible bull market rally to the upside. So we definitely have to keep this price in mind. There's always a trailing buy order on the 21 weekly EMA, just in case we get a very, very strong move to the downside out of Bitcoin and a wick all the way down here, which would fill our order and then bounce back to the upside pretty quickly. Now, if we elaborate a bit more on the Livermore's speculation funnel idea, what we are looking for is a move to the top side of this rising broadening wedge with a breakout followed by a stronger move to the upside. And this does happen to line up with Fibonacci levels. So we have the 1272 here, the 1414 here, and then here is the 1618. So if we do get a move to the upside, we are looking for a break across $54,000, which would let us know that we are likely headed up towards 101,000 US dollars out of Bitcoin. Now, this could happen fairly quickly, but it could also not happen at all. We may indeed be looking at some sideways action, especially as the DXY continues to rise and come up and test this top trend line. So that's where we're at with Bitcoin. We're really waiting for some more price structure to develop and give us an idea of what direction this is going to go. But we are being very aware of this head and shoulders possibility. But we are also looking for a break across these moving averages on the 8-hour where we would head to the upside of this rising broadening wedge. And if we do get that breakout across the top trend line, then we will know we are in store for some incredible highs that no one probably would have thought possible this early in this bull run. Okay, so taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, this does look rather bullish to me. This is the weekly chart. This does look like we could be getting ready for a massive move to the upside. If we go and zoom in a bit to the daily chart and see just where we're at, it does look like we broke out of this falling broadening wedge, which is a very bullish reversal pattern. And we did come down and retest this top trend line here. And this is actually a bullish confirmation, letting us know that movement to the upside is probably in store for Bitcoin dominance moving forward, letting us know that altcoins may not be a good idea at this point in time. So if this dominance does continue to push to the upside, we'll probably see that in some poor performance out of altcoins. But as I look to the right, I'm looking at my chart and there is a lot of green there right now. We did get this, massive wick to the downside with the movement out of Bitcoin yesterday. And we are seeing altcoins get a bit of a pump right now. If Bitcoin does continue to move sideways over the next few days, we could actually be looking at a very, very strong mini altcoin season in the near term until Bitcoin gets its strength back and pushes further to the upside. So we've already looked at the DXY. We've looked at Bitcoin dominance. Let's go and take a peek at Ethereum. Again, Ethereum, this is some incredibly bullish structure. We've got the 21 daily EMA, and it did get a bounce right off of it, almost right off of it. Right here, we got the bounce at $908, and the 21 weekly EMA at the time was at $936. So that is letting us know that we could be in store for some movement to the upside. This could have just been a short-term correction out of Ethereum. Let's go to the weekly chart. So this is a very bullish structure here out of Ethereum. And, we did break across this neckline of this possible double bottom way down here. But we could be putting in a cup and handle at the moment. In doing so, I'd fully expect a movement to the downside out of Ethereum, giving us a new price target of $605, which is the 21 weekly EMA. And, if this is going to turn into a cup and handle formation, which is a very bullish pattern. We look for some sort of wedge likely to the downside followed by a breakout, giving us some pretty incredible targets. If we take a fib extension, so we take the trend-based fib extension, we go from the previous low all the way up here to the high, and then say we do come down to right around this area, which would, line up with a neckline. So I'll go in between the 13 and 21 weekly EMA. If we did get a 1-to-1 extension, that puts us all the way up over $10,000. So Ethereum, if we do get some short-term bearish price action, do keep in mind that this is likely turning into a cup and handle formation. And the breakout of a cup and handle will definitely put us up near $10,000 if this is indeed what is playing out. But in the short term, again, we did get the bounce off the 21 daily EMA, and price does appear to be recovering right now, but it is not yet confirmed. If we come into the 1-hour chart, this is the chart that I had shared with the group. So yesterday we did get the aggressive buy here, or the breakout across here, because we were in the symmetrical triangle formation. We did get a 3-trade setup here. If you go back to yesterday's video, or actually the day before yesterday's video, you will see that trade plan laid out in detail. But we did come up and meet every single one of our targets, only to quickly fall to the downside and get that bounce off the 21 weekly EMA. So that's where we're at with Ethereum. We are currently not in an Ethereum trade. We are looking for a breakout above this level right here at $1,134, letting us know that, downside continuation is not likely, and we are resuming this bull trend to the upside. But I do not have a specific trade for you guys today with Ethereum. I'm really looking to see more price structure develop. So when that does, I will definitely make sure I keep you guys updated on a trade. But that's all I have for you guys today. Hold your positions, keep your strong hands, do not sell to the institutions, and I will see you all tomorrow.